Okay, now we will have a look at the results. As you see, I have the already run case directory here, and we will start with kind of the in-between results. So if we go to geometry here, we've got the step file, so we can check that. We also have the initial mesh that we generated before we did the mesh refinement. And we can have a look at that. We can see if there's an issue, we can check that. And the solver directory actually doesn't contain a whole lot of information, because the actual information that we want is now in the output folder. And we see we've got different angles of attack specified in the input files, and for every angle of attack we will get those result directories here. So let's have a look at the first one. We've got forces, we've got coefficients that are set up in the simulation files, and we've got the simulation file itself along with the data. And yeah, we've got the journal file also just for debugging purposes. We've got a PDF report, and a little more useful, we've got an HTML report, and let's have a look at that. So we open it up, and as you can see, it has a useful name, so you can also set that name in the input files, and it will automatically say which angle of attack it is. So we've got a whole lot of stuff. It's this is based on the default HTML output that ANSYS will generate, with a few additional views that I added. But maybe you are already familiar with this. You've got basically the whole setup of the case documented. You've got the little bit about the mesh quality, and yeah, a lot of information that you might need to have a look at. We've got the residuals. By the way, if you wonder what those peaks are, that's because we do the refinement in between in the solution. So yeah, that will make the solution worse in between, and then in the final steps we deactivate further refinements so we can have a nice converging result. Also have a plot for the coefficients here. And then we go to the nice part, to seeing pictures. First of all, the mesh, as the mesh refinement is of interest as a central thing in this workflow, we can check what this AMR algorithm has done. And for example, we see it looks a bit strange maybe, because we can see that there are areas further away from the aircraft that are refined very much, and some that are nearer to the aircraft that are not so refined. You can see that here also, and you might wonder why that is. And that's because we've got that base mesh, and this is quite fine near the surface, and it will be coarser further away. And what the AMR actually does is it sees this cell that is big, it's further away. This has a big gradient, for example, and I will refine this one. And maybe the other cells that are closer to the surface are below that threshold for refinement. So it might look a little strange, but that's part of the process, and it's an intended feature, you could say. Okay, let's go on. Let's have a look at those nice colored pictures. By the way, I'm sorry for this scale. I assume it's probably something with the display resolution. Maybe that ANSYS has a problem. I hope that it's better at your workstation. So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff. Just if you want to analyze something without opening the GUI, maybe there's something you can find. You can delete a whole lot of that if you don't need it. You can customize it but I think there might be something useful. For example, you can check the Y+, which is very important if you know about boundary layer and turbulence modeling. So as we can see here, that's quite a low value, and that's what I want, so that's nice. We're gonna skip this part. We've got those scenes, so as you can see, multiple views, and a very cool feature, I think, we can actually play around with this a little bit. So this is going to be a 3D viewer. Let's make it full screen, and now we can have a closer look at the model, and all of that is without opening the GUI, so it's really quick. We can compare those different simulations, different setups very quickly. Have a look at certain details maybe. And yeah, I think that's a really nice feature, and you can customize that to your needs. And I would recommend to do that before you start your analysis series if you are trying to analyze a big setup of parameters and compare many different designs. It's just very convenient to have the post-processing setup automatically, because yeah, no need to open the files anymore. I think that's it for this first look at the results, and yeah, see you in the next video.